we were playing a sort of tournament with 3 other countries. It was the 3rd edition of the Clash of the Legends. The 2 games, they are going to be very difficult for Mamelodi Sundowns. And then to touch on what you have asked, I think also sometimes we confuse ourselves because it's very important. It can be the game that keeps them or that puts them into the thing the knockout stages. So tricky one, but doable. Very difficult. So if you sign the three players that you've mentioned, immediate plan would say 3 years, and that you should also hope that in terms of that it works, the plan works. I got to say, and then this is my opinion. So please, if you have any question, I will try to answer some of them away. Sure.
Danko.
You need facts, figures, scores, and scoops, and the truth.
Dumelang again. It's that time of the week. Monday, it's Yeye Time.
Hotman, what a weekend we come from. A weekend jam-packed with action. You come from a nice weekend yourself. You guys were out in Lesotho with former Bafana legends. And yeah, hey, you did magic that side, Hotman. What was happening there?
Sure. No. Eriko correct. Botswana. With our former colleagues, now football legends. We were playing a sort of tournament with 3 other countries. It was the 3rd edition of the Clash of the Legends, of which it was comprised of Botswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and us. It was a 1-day tournament, top 4 that was played on Saturday the 21st. Go Francistown.
And how did that go, Khotman? Good lordy,
Yeah, no. We played well. It was a day of having fun, meeting with obviously former teammates. Now others are coaches, others are doing whatever that they do. But we got together to reminisce, to do what we've enjoyed our entire lives and entertain Botswana, that side, and other people by Ilongho. They came in support. First game we played Zimbabwe, and then we clapped them 5-1, and then in the final we played Botswana, and then we also clapped them 4-1 to defend the trophy for the 3rd time.
It says a lot about that class. It says a lot about you guys and the generation. But you guys weren't the only people who provided the entertainment. Mamelodi Sundowns played against Borussia Dortmund. To be quite honest, a lot of us were expecting Mamelodi Sundowns to lose, but the boys went out there. They put up a big fight, and they lost, yes, but they could have lost by an even bigger margin, but they only lost by a goal, with the scoreline ending 4-3 in favor of Borussia Dortmund. Grootman, there's something that's trending on social media right now. People are complaining about this thing of building from the back, because that's what cost Sundowns the match.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about this thing, Ronwen Williams and Mamelodi Sundowns, of no, let's build from the back, even when we're under pressure?
Sure, a very tricky one. And I did mention last week, Jorge, it is going to be the 2 games, they are going to be very difficult for Mamelodi Sundowns. And then to touch on what you have asked, I think also sometimes we confuse ourselves. When Sundowns plays, they play good touches, they get out of the pressure very easy, they look good. and then we praise them. We say it's Shushan and piano, and they play nice football, they're entertaining football, that. But because it's sort of a one mistake that has cost the team a goal, then now Seri discourage that. I don't think it's the right thing to do. That is how they play. That is how they won games. And definitely, because football it's a game of mistakes. Mistakes happen. And then unfortunately it happened. Game wrong, where we needed them to be safe, to play, to win the game. So that they can enhance the chance to qualify for the knockout stages. So for me, that's how they've been playing. Betway Premiership, they've played the same way. Champions League, they've played the same way. Their first game in the Club World Cup, they've played the same way, and it has worked. So why should they change because of one mistake? I said it's unfortunate, yes, but that's how they play.
You know, man, if you really watch that match, one thing you'll pick up is that the Mamelodi Sundowns coach didn't really prepare for this man. You know, I think he prepared in terms of he just focused more on his squad training, but he didn't sit down and analyze Borussia Dortmund. He didn't see exactly how these guys play and where to penetrate the most. Whereas you could see that Borussia Dortmund studied Mamelodi Sundowns. They realized that, okay, this is how these guys play. They build from the back. So if you press them at the back, they're going to make a lot of mistakes. And once they're under pressure at the back, then it's easy for us to score goals. What do you make of that, Hotman?
I think I disagree with how he did not prepare. I know for a fact Mamelodi Sundowns are one of those teams that does a thorough preparation on in terms of analysis, the opponents and obviously their team. Maybe let's just say the level, Club World Cup, it's a different level in terms of football. We can also say maybe there are certain details gamey when it comes to the opposition, which is Dortmund, that were never really paid attention to, or that were never thought they can harm Mamelodi Sundowns on the day. But I know for sure the preparations were done. Mara also, you can prepare and see and know how other teams does things. Even when you do that, when they do certain things the right way, sometimes it's difficult to stop them, even when you know what they are going to do. So the quality at Dortmund, because of the level that they are in, it somehow showed, and unfortunately, Mamelodi Sundowns lost that game.
But to be quite honest, the boys played well. They were attacking well. Ribeiro, I mean, we saw how he scored his first goal, and you also saw how Mukwena was involved in the second goal, building it up for Ikram Renas. What do you make of the overall performance of Mamelodi Sundowns against Borussia Dortmund?
Top performance. I mean, when you are at that level, as Mamelodi Sundowns are playing with top teams in the world, you are forced to get to their level. If you don't, then you'll get your 10-0 like other teams that lost the 10-0 and 6 and whatnot. So Mamelodi Sundowns, with the quality that they have, they rose to the level at least. The world stage, and then they are showing off their talent. They're representing the country very well. Like I said, unfortunately, we wanted them to win, but it did not happen. But in terms of what they are showing on the field, in terms of representing the club and the country, I think they are doing very well.
Godman, they play against Fluminense next. That's another strong team. We saw them when they played against Borussia Dortmund. Is it safe to say that this is the end for Mamelodi Sundowns?
Yes, sir. It's a tricky game. In this group, Fluminense is one team that I've always felt it's the strongest team in the group. should we say they are coming back? I'd say, based on what I said before, Jorge, when you are playing against the top team, you are forced to get to that level and compete. Of which I'm sure that Sundowns will give a good account of themselves against Fluminense. But with the games that I've watched, the Fluminense in the Club World Cup and before, I think based on what I thought, Jorge, they are the strongest team in the group. I think Sundowns will definitely have to dig deep, work extremely hard for them to win that game. And because it's very important, it can be the game that keeps them or that puts them into the thing, the knockout stages. So tricky one, but doable. Very difficult. Very difficult.
If you had to offer Mamelodi Sundowns coach like any advice right now leading to this match against Fluminense, what advice would you offer him, like in terms of the structure, the tactics, which players to play, which players to not play? Like,
sure. The advice it's to Kidibuang more are not sort of reality based, and I'll tell you why. Because of I'm not on the field and I don't really know the idea or the thinking of how he wants to approach, right? Mara for me, the two games that they've played very well. And it's more or less the same group of players. One, a different country. Two, the climate is different and whatnot. So I'm sure that the two games have really stressed the player in terms of tiredness and whatnot. So I think maybe refreshing the team, putting in one or two new players that will obviously help the team freshness and the way team has been playing in terms of a lot of movement, keeping the ball more, making runs a lot behind the defense and without the ball. I think with how they've played, with the structure that they've played, but more disciplined, more recognizing the moments on when to play, when to kick the ball away, just to be safe, avoid conceding the goal very early, and get critical moments. We will give Mamelodi Sundowns a chance. If the team doesn't score, I know for a fact that Sundowns will create chances, and when they do that, they convert whatever chance they score, they'll win the game. So for me, it's emphasize on as much as you are playing, you are building up. There are moments on you can't build up because of you are being pressed high. Just play from the second ball and variate how you want to play.
Godman, as a country, we are in good spirits. Like, we're happy to see how Mamelodi Sundowns are playing. Yeah. And we are mostly happy for South African-born players because you have the likes of Ikrem Reyners, who's making a name for himself on the global stage. Lebo Mutiba coming on as a sub, although we judged him too much, but he comes on as a sub and then he scores an important goal, the third goal that Mamelodi Sundowns scored. But on the other side, you look at Theminkosi Lorch. This is a guy that everyone had written off. This is a guy that we had forgotten about and we were more focused on other players. But there he is now on the global stage saying that, look, I am still that guy. I'm still Nyoso and I can still play. And now people are having conversations of, no, should Hugo Bruce include him in his Bafana team? What do you think of Theminkosi Lorch and his recent form?
Top player. He has done well, obviously, previously for Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns. But obviously it's more of the field stuff that really hindered his progress, his growth in the game, and obviously a lot of injuries. He got an opportunity to revive and show people that the Lorch that he is when he was loaned, go away, that he's been doing well in the league, did very well. And then now he's one of their best performers now in that tournament. And this is the Lorch that we've known in the country. I mean, you can't be a very average player. You can't. So to show that Lorch has quality, Lorch is one of the top players that we have in the country. He's showing it at that level. And when you are playing well, when you are performing well, I think you deserve to be called for a national team. I think so.
So does this mean that you agree with our people on social media that Hugo Bros, if you're looking for someone to call, here's Theminkosi Lorch. But if we call Theminkosi Lorch, who do we drop? Like, who do you think he'd have to replace? Because he can't be just like another addition to the squad, because then there's going to be extra players and, there's always a limit. So who do you replace Lorch with?
I get now the squad has not been named, and no player has been named currently. Yeah. So normally how the coach selects the team, it's so that he has the balanced squad based on the positions and who replace what. And I'm sure that if he decides he wants to bring Lorch in, then definitely the squad that will be chosen at that time will be a balanced team, and you don't really have to say Lorch replace Mamang. It's not a team setup, it's a national team squad. When you select players, it's based on a balanced team that will go and compete and win those games that would be played at that time.
Hotman, Orlando Pirates have announced the new coach. This guy used to coach Marumo Gallants. I just struggle with the pronunciation of his name. Yeah. It's a Moroccan coach. It came as a shock to all of us because there were rumors that they're close to signing Rulani Mokoena, and then boom, they dropped this bombshell on this guy. I mean, how do you see this guy performing at Pirates?
And most of Africa, until you get a confirmation from the club that says we have signed so and so, welcome, then it's not done. It's still a rumor, right? And yeah, I saw on my way here that they confirmed the coach. To be honest, I don't know much about him. To be honest, I've watched few games, Marumo, but also I could not really see much because Marumo was under pressure to avoid the chop more, and every game that he played, it was more of a battlefield. He needs it was a matter of survival. It's two different levels. Now he's from a space where it was more about the survival. He's going into a space of we are competing, we are challenging. So it's two different levels, and unfortunately we would not really say Coach Ejwang until we see what he does. So we need to give him a chance and say, okay, we've given him a chance, do what you should do, and then we can then throw the comments after that. But for now, he's a new coach, less than a year in the country. Let's just wait and see. Unfortunately, I'm under pressure from the person that left, from the coach that left. He delivered. And now he's taking over where the bar has been very high for Orlando Pirates, and let's see what he does.
Man, something interesting. I always wonder, and I think these are conversations that a lot of people have in the streets, even on social media, that why is it that in South Africa, in the PSL particularly, we have no faith in local coaches? I mean, think about it. You have someone like Pitso Mosimane. He's done well with Mamelodi Sundowns, the first black coach to win a league in South Africa, becomes also the first coach to win the Champions League with Mamelodi Sundowns. And then Rulani Mokoena takes over, he does well at Sundowns, takes them, wins the African Football League, and then he gets as far as the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League, and then Manqoba Mngqithi, who's done well at Golden Arrows. We've seen his challenge at Golden Arrows, and then also when he took over at Mamelodi Sundowns, he wasn't given enough time. It's always a thing of no. They're looking for European coaches, European. If not European, but it's a foreign coach. But they don't believe in local coaches. It would have been nice to see a local coach come to Orlando Pirates and take over the team. And as someone who's played the game yourself, I think you were also coached by a lot of foreign coaches. Even when you were at Chiefs, you had a local coach, but they didn't give him much time with you guys. And then boom, an international coach was introduced again. So I just want to find out from you, why do you think the South African teams, particularly the big ones, have no faith in local coaches?
There are conversations that happens behind closed doors between coaches, representatives, and the clubs. And once I know one day I'm going to be part of those conversations, and once I know exactly which language is spoken in those corridors, I'll come back, hey, that the reason teams chooses foreign coaches over local others. But also on a serious note, I would say, and based on my experience, this is my experience. It's one, not many local coaches, especially teams or big teams, have been successful. Not many. Yes, Rulani, top coach, successful. Coach Pito, top coach, was successful. But also you can only coach few teams in that space when you are at that level. Yabo Rulani and Yabo Coach Rulani and Coach Pito. So there's only really 3 teams that they can coach in the country at the moment. And maybe when you check the track record that it coached by a local coach, only Mamelodi Sundowns was successful with with the local coach. Only when you check the track record at Kaiser Chiefs, not so much with the local coach. With Pirates also not so much with the local coach. Maybe it's the reason. But check out from Bekuru who did what and did we do better with the local or international, and then it sort of goes back to the international coaches are the ones that does better versus the local coaches for whatever reason that I'm not sure of. I think also players, for some reason also that I'm not sure of, they respond better to foreign coaches than the local. I don't know why, but for some reason, I don't understand. Players respond better to foreign coaches, which does not help our own. And then it would be nice watching a derby where both benches it's local coaches, top local coaches. It would be nice because it's a local brand. There are 2 big teams in the country, and it would be better or nice rather when you see a local versus local with the background, their history of South Africa, with the background, their history of the 2 chairmen, how they were built, both teams. It's as an event, it also makes it even better event on the day to witness that.
Wenagotman, in your view, do you ever see a local coach coaching Bafana?
Yeah, most definitely. One time I'm gonna coach Bafana.
And you're gonna win us the World Cup?
I'm gonna try. Next 10 years later, we don't know we win the World Cup. I'm gonna try.
Goodman, it's preseason now. Orlando Pirates are gonna be traveling to Spain.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many matches they're gonna be playing down there, but they're traveling to Spain for preseason. How shebile ba tlo etsa jwang la ko Spain, and what do you think they're going to learn? I mean, they went to Spain last season.
Yeah.
They came back and still lost the league to Mamelodi Sundowns. Does it make any difference that they go there?
I think they're playing 4 that has been confirmed. It's just that the names I did not really pay attention to. Those trips are very important. Having a preseason in a different environment, playing a different opponent, tougher. If also I might say so. It is very important for players, and it has become a trend. Even Kaiser Chiefs are going to Netherlands now. Maybe we can also say Sundowns are doing theirs quite World Cup. But they've been going in Europe, Lebona. Earlier on, I said when you are playing with a team that is sort of on a higher level, it forces you as a team or as individuals to also get to their level and get better quickly and grow and be a better player or team. So that presents Orlando Pirates and Chiefs and Sundowns players to say, when we compete at the higher level, whether it's preseason or not, we need to up our level. We need to improve. And then when we come back as improved teams, players, and then we then want to dominate the space that we compete in on a daily basis or weekly basis.
Sticking with Kaiser Chiefs, Khotman, there's been so many allegations about players that they've signed, you know. I just want to know, do you know any confirmed signings? Because there was a rumor ya Munyane, Basekamako, Sipumbule. Other peoples are even now throwing Osman Apollos in the conversation, Pesitao, you know.
Yo.
So are there any confirmed? Munapule Saling also. It's. I think maybe Chiefs fans are dreaming for that to happen, but you know.
No, I did say Hore. For as long as also Boni on the page, let's say we welcome so and so, it's still a rumor. I don't know what is who signed who. I've read about the players that you mentioned, Lena. Unfortunately, so at the same time or on the same day when the club officially announces the new signings, Sabona, and take it from there.
Khotman, the promotional playoffs have been playing, and it's looking like Cape Town City might not make it. It's looking very likely that Cape Town City might not make it. What have you made of the promotional playoffs so far?
They've been very cagey affair. All the games besides the previous one, Orbit, the Kazrik now, when Orbit won 1-0, but all of them have been the draws, not 1-1, not really entertaining to be honest. But obviously it's maybe the mentality of this is a do or die kind of a situation where it is, let's go fight, let's leave fancy stuff and then let's go grind results and it's that situation. Funny enough, also you watch Cape Town City with the Betway Premiership experience, they also fall into that space where they also play the same type of let's go fight football. They have not played the way they are playing, or they were playing. They're not creating a lot of chances to make their chances higher so that they can come back to the Betway Premiership. Then the next 2 games for them, or rather the next game, would be key to try and win it, and they'll be on 5 points, and then means it would be decided on in the last game, Yabon. But things don't look good for them as things stands. They are attacking.
And it would really be sad and disappointing to see a player like Thulani Serero, who was at some point one of the best players in the PSL, went overseas, and then now he's back at Cape Town City. Yo, to see him play go second division would be like, yo, bro, someone of your caliber would be nice. Actually, Kaiser Chiefs need a player like him. If Kaiser Chiefs, whoever Osainang Mole, if they could just get Thulani Serero, Pesitao, Sipombule, then we'd have a solid Kaiser Chiefs team. I don't know what you think of that. Maybe Lynn, I'm just dreaming here.
Yeah, maybe it's a dream. Yeah, how and other people out there, but they top names, top individuals. They've done well in our football. Do they solve problems that, let's say, Chiefs have now, right? And is it for Chiefs to solve immediate problems or long-term problems? So if you would say immediate problems, short-term, then definitely I would sign those players. I'm not really about the age and right, but football is taking a different direction, and that direction also it includes the age bracket. So if you sign the three players that you've mentioned, immediate plan would say 3 years, and that you should also hope that in terms of that it works, the plan works, and in that 3 years, who you're still trying to get your house in order and get replacements, so that in the next 3 years they'll take over where the names that you've mentioned. So if you bring people to solve immediate challenges, and 3 years later it does not happen, that means every 2-3 years you are rebuilding, you are starting afresh. Rather, if you say you are now a long-term plan, it's 10 years, or let's say between 8 to 10 years, then you bring youngsters. You'll struggle for the next 3-4 years. You'll struggle definitely, but in the 4th, 5th, 6th, then you'll start seeing results. You'll start seeing the investment that you've sort of invested in the first or 2-3 years. So top players, but it depends on the direction of the club where they want to go.
I know.
Thank you once more for being with me and having conversations and listening to what I got to say, and then this is my opinion. So please, if you have any question, I will try to answer some of them. Sure.